Sub-maximal field test to assess cardiorespiratory fitness. Equipment needed for the 1-mile jogging test and Rockport 1-mile walking test are as follows: proper running attire, a 400-meter track, a heart rate monitor which is optional because this may be calculated manually, a stopwatch, and a pencil and paper. Prior to the test, a proper warm-up should be performed. 2 to 3 minutes of dynamic stretching should be performed before the jogging test, and 5 to 10 minutes of dynamic stretching should be performed before the Rockport 1-mile walking test. The 1-mile jogging test is a sub-maximal cardiorespiratory fitness test that is intended for use on males and females between the ages of 18 to 29 years old. The test requires steady-state exertion, and heart rate must immediately be recorded following the completion of the 1-mile jog. The time to complete the 1 mile should be at least 8 minutes for males and 9 minutes for females. It is important to note that the heart rate should not exceed 180 beats per minute because this should again be a sub-maximal test. With the use of a running stopwatch, I began and finished the 1-mile jog at a moderate pace. Upon completion of the 1-mile jog, I immediately calculated my heart rate by palpating my carotid artery. I calculated this number by finding the amount of pulses in 15 seconds and multiplied that number by 4 to find beats per minute. The Rockport 1-mile walk test is a sub-maximal test for cardiorespiratory fitness that is intended for use on 20 to 69-year-old males or females. Intensity should be high, but running is not allowed. Heart rate must be recorded immediately following the completion of the 1-mile walk. It is important to note that this test is appropriate for sedentary or older populations. Using a running stopwatch, I walked 1 mile as quickly as I could without running. Upon completion of the 1-mile walk, I immediately calculated my heart rate by palpating my carotid artery using the same protocol as the 1-mile jogging test. When palpating for a pulse, use the index and middle fingers to sense movement on one of the following arteries. The carotid artery can be located between the larynx and the sternocleidomastoid muscle on the neck. The radial pulse can be located on the anterior lateral portion of the wrist, or the thumb side. Immediately after testing, I performed a 5 to 10 minute cooldown. My cooldown included static stretching of all the major muscles involved. To calculate my VO2 max for the 1-mile jogging test, I used the formula given. I used my weight in kilograms, my completion time in minutes, my heart rate following completion, and a 1 for the gender variable. My VO2 max was calculated at 53.92, which is classified as excellent. To calculate my VO2 max from the Rockport 1-mile walk test, I used the formula given. I used my weight in pounds, my age in years, a gender variable of 1, my completion time in minutes, and my heart rate recorded post-testing. My VO2 max was calculated at 46.86 and can be classified as good. The following chart is from the American College of Sports Medicine. It can be used to determine cardiorespiratory fitness classifications based on gender and age.